Hey folks, welcome to my YouTube channel, and today so we are going to understand how project management takes place. Okay, so let me go into the presentation mode and let's choose the laser pointer. Okay, so let's understand the project management. It's a 12-step process. So basically these are the 12 steps. Okay, and what is project management? So the planning and organizing of a company's resources to move a specific task, event or duty towards completion. Okay, so like anything work you are trying to do or achieve, okay, you can like follow the steps involved in project management in order to get it completed in a proper way. Okay, and so that you won't waste any time, resources and any other important things that you may lose it while doing the task. Okay, so the first step of project management is defining the project. Okay, so if you don't have the task itself, how can you proceed further, right? So first step is define the project, and second step is list the task. Okay, and third step is establishing task order, like how you want to achieve those tasks or complete or fulfill those tasks, that order. Then estimating time, like how much time you are going to dedicate to each task. Okay, and next is margin check and reality check. Okay, next is Gantt chart. So these charts are very necessary to understand or keep a track of your flow of the project. Okay, next is resource allocation, and next is predicting and reducing risk. Okay, that is step 8. So this step 8 is the step where we start the actual implementation. So from step 1 till 8 is just the planning. Okay, and step 9 is monitoring progress. Next is monitoring cost, adjusting the plans, and review and lessons. Okay, so let's go ahead and look into these steps in brief mode. Okay, not deep dive but just skimming up the milk. Okay, so first step is define a project. Okay, so here they are taking the example of building a shed basically. So this shed involves like many things. Okay, so let's understand that, but we will take some different example here. Okay, so first is business case. So like why this project, like why I want to achieve this project and why now. Then options considered. Okay, like there are various factors you need to consider before starting the project, right? Next is project scope. So in scope is basically what you want to include in the project. Okay, and out of scope is what you want to exclude from the project at the particular moment. Okay, so this out of scope you might add at the completion of first stage of the project or the actual accomplishment of the goal. Okay, that means you are developing the project for future scopes. Okay, like that. So in our case, let's consider that we are either building a studio for Instagram or a YouTube channel. Okay, so that is our project. Okay, let's consider that. Next is dependencies, like describe how the project impacts or will be impacted by other projects or programmers. So basically if these dependencies come into existence or come into picture when you are handling many projects. Okay, and then constraints. So describe any constraint within which the project must be delivered, like government deadlines, budget limits, resource limitations. Okay, so these are the constraints. Next is assumptions. So describe any assumptions that are being worked from at this point, for example that you will get planning permission, like that. Okay, and next is key factors. So basically these three are the important key factors that you want to include in your project. That is time, how much time you are giving till the project completion. Okay, how much cost you are, or what is the budget of a project. Next is what is the quality you are trying to maintain in developing the project. Okay, so next is list the task. Okay, so basically in our case, like we are building the YouTube or Insta studio, right? So for that, like we need to start with the planning, like what niche you are going to choose on which you are going to make the videos. That is the first point. Next point is like whether you are going to buy a camera, okay, a laptop to record the videos or to make things. Okay, or something, a touch screen iPad on which you can draw and able to doodle the things, right? Like that. Okay, or whether you are going to hire some partners. Okay, or whether you are going to raise a ad campaign to make the ads of your starting stage. Okay, so like that, there are many factors if you consider in whatever things you're going to plan it. Okay, so step by step, let's understand those. So list the tasks. So basically that are the tasks I named few of them. Okay, so that is the planning. And then in this case, like work breakdown structure is basically you are breaking down your work into a proper structure, and each structure or each part is known as the task. Okay, and this task, if there are many tasks, then what you can do is you can have this under a main task, like that. Okay, so don't have many tasks altogether, so that it will be hectic for you to complete them. Okay, so in our case, like they had considered like shed project, right? So if in planning phase, they are checking check, can I get the planning, apply for and get planning permission. Okay, so basically this planning permission is taken from his household. Okay, and then preparing the site, like that is demolish the old shed, cut back all the foliage, tree surgeon, put a power wire, connect the power. So basically it's like abandoned building you can consider, and he is demolishing things and he is doing that stuff. Okay, next is buying. So basically he may go and buy a new stuff to build that. Okay, then foundations. So basically hire a digger, dig foundation, add some things. Okay, and assembly and structure, so assembling things and installing stuff like furniture, music system. Okay, like that. So this is a type of work breakdown structure. In our case, like if you are having a YouTube or Insta studio, so basically you will start with the planning, like what niche you are going to choose for making the videos. Okay, and then preparing the site or preparing your room you can consider. Okay, and then buying things like camera. Okay, then mic to talk with. If you are trying to have a podcast channel, then you might need a good background, right? So that things. Okay, then foundations, like are you going to have some LED lights, high LED lights, or resources which are high budget, like that. Then assembling is like putting things all together into that room. Okay, and then installing stuff like Wi-Fi, consider Wi-Fi, then like some decorative lamps, curtains, sofa, like that. Okay, so those things, right? So these are the list the tasks. Next is like now here you can see that clear the space in the garden. So this task has subtasks like demolish old shed, cut foliage, and tree surgeon. So like that you can have subtasks under the main task. Okay, if you have many tasks in hand. Okay, so that things you can do. Next is task order. So task order is very necessary to put it into proper structure, so that you can have the critical path. So critical path is the path that might take longest time in your project. Okay, so that is the critical path. So here you can see he is checking the funds at the first. Then okay, so basically like check funds, tree surgeon, ask your friends, find shared supplies. These are like not that critical tasks, you can do it anytime, like that. Okay, but do I need a planning permission? This is important, right? Because before planning permission, if he goes and demolishes the shed, then he might get the scoldings or whatever things he might get it from the government, like that. Okay, so these things are critical, so that they might take a longer duration for approvals, for permissions, for getting signatures, like that. Okay, so it might take some time, so it's the critical path. So you can read these things out. Okay, and this is the third step, that is task order. Next is estimating times. So like you should count the time in weeks. Okay, so in our case, like if we are building the studio, we might think of estimating the time, like at what duration you want to schedule the video or a reel. Okay, and like how much time you are estimating to grow your followers, like, or subscribers. Okay, so that is the things. Then estimate hours worked and elapsed time in weeks. Okay, so basically if you're working, and then that is counted in terms of hours, and elapsed time is basically you're counting it in weeks. Okay, and then add number of weeks for each task. So basically whatever task you are defining, add how many weeks is needed for that task. Okay, and do the estimates based on the experts. So reach out to experts, like who has already monetized his YouTube channel or Insta, or verified the Insta, like that. Okay, then identify critical path. So a task that might take long time, so critical path is very necessary. Okay, so in our case, like let's consider critical path, like choosing the niche is very important, because if you choose the niche itself at the wrong, then entire flow might go boom, right? So that is the thing. So choosing the niche, then what can be the critical path here? Choosing proper setup to record the videos if they are not in good quality, then, and if the voice has like background noise like I do, okay, not proper planning, right? So those are the things you need to keep in mind, okay. Next is invest time in a planning. So planning should be done in very proper way, guys, okay. So that is the thing. Next step is margin and reality check, okay. So go through the critical path, think about the tasks which are high risk of delay. So which task might be the high risk of delay in this, okay. So those tasks need to be handled very carefully, okay. Then identify the worst case time and distribute it throughout the critical path. So for example, worst case task in the sense like which task might affect everything, okay, and or if you're estimating 27 weeks, okay, and if you consider if something goes wrong, okay, then if you consider the worst case, right? So that worst case time, whatever you consider, like if you consider again 3 weeks, that 3 weeks of time need to be distributed around this critical path, okay. That is how you do it, okay. And to reduce time, what you can do is you can either spend more, okay, like if you are having the YouTube channel and if you're not able to dedicate the videos on proper time, then you can hire a video creator like that, okay. So that is how you spend more, right? And they reduce the quality. That means quality comes with the risk, like sometimes the customers may not get satisfied, right? So that is the thing. So reduce quality and overlap tasks. So overlapping task, it's involves the risk, so do this carefully, okay. So to do this, you can follow these steps: either spend more, reduce the quality, or overlap the tasks. Next is Gantt chart. So basically this chart is a project management tool that illustrates work completed over a period of time in relation to the time plan for the work, okay. So basically it gives the presentation of how much project you have completed and what is the progress, okay. So this is basically the representation of a Gantt chart, a simple basic Gantt chart. You can use Excel. There are other tools also to build the Gantt chart, okay. So basically Excel is simplest way you can do it, okay. So here are the tasks in column A, okay. B are the people you have assigned if the project is big enough, and these numbers you can consider 1 2 3 4. These are the weeks basically, okay, weeks, and the numbers you see in the red are the hours, okay. So in the end you can see 80 hours. These are the total hours like this calculated, and this is the total hour like 320. And if you consider this green task, these are not that critical. These red ones are the critical paths, okay, like check planning, hire digger, dig trench, like that. So these are the critical path, and this diamond represents your what you can say, diamond represents your event, okay. So that is the thing. So that means like either one of the thing is completed here or achieved, you can consider like that, okay. So this is an event here, okay. Yeah, so yeah, so that is the thing. And here you can see ask friends. This can be done in any interval of time. So this is the time frame for this task, okay. So that is the thing. So within what stipulated time that task need to be completed is assigned till here. So from week 1 till week 18 you can do it at any time, right? So these are the floating tasks. Yeah, the right term is floating tasks, and these are the critical tasks, okay. Next is resource planning. So resource planning is very important step, guys, because without resources you cannot proceed further, okay. So make sure hours required are realistic. So basically whatever you are planning here, the hours should be realistic, okay. So if you swap these things out, you might lose something here, okay. And note which tasks are waiting tasks and factor it in non-working hours, okay. So waiting tasks are like whichever tasks are in waiting zone, like that, okay. And add other projects if you can handle them at the same time. So these things are for the professionals, okay, who already handle 2 to 3 projects at a time, okay. Next is risk analysis. So after Gantt chart, think what might go wrong in terms of money and time, okay. So this is like stipulating worst case time scenario, okay. Look at critical path for time and task for cost, okay. So look at critical path for time. So basically critical path gives us how much time might you need, and tasks for the cost. So basically tasks give us how much cost is needed, okay. Allow extra time or money for risks, okay, and start implementation. So basically at the 8th step, after doing so many things, you start the implementation. Next is monitor the progress. So as you build the project, you start monitoring like how are the things going, and coloring the tasks in the Gantt chart. So basically if you go to Gantt chart, where is our Gantt chart? Yeah, this one. So you can color the things out in different color, like whatever tasks are completed, you can choose whatever color you might like. and you can color these things out, okay, so that you might keep the track here, okay, like that. Next is we can keep the track where we are late, okay, that is the thing, okay. And the 10th one is monitor cost. So also if you are like, in case of our case, where were we, like, yeah, so if you are building a studio for Insta or YouTube, you can monitor the cost if you are running an ad campaign, okay. So that is the best thing. Like some people, they take the classes, like for example Simply Learn, you can say, like many coaching institutions are there, they run the YouTube channel, right? So they you get the ads, right? So these are the monitoring the cost, okay, like that. So estimate the cost as accurate as possible. If it is over budget, you can decide whether to change the scope of plan. Can predict spend of the week using Gantt chart and adjust, okay. So Gantt chart is very important, guys. People use this, okay, for the project management, and you can see how you can develop this, okay. Next is adjust the plan. So unexpected may happen, you did not fail basically. So if you fail at some time, your project is not at it is not the end, guys. So you can restart at that time, adjusting the plans here and there, okay. And come clean with your client. If you are handling some client projects, you can be transparent as possible, okay, and then manage the expectation. If things go south, revise the plan with the updated budget and time. Choose which key drivers you will compromise on, that is the cost, quality and time, right? And talk to stakeholders sooner than later, okay. So if at the beginning stage something goes wrong, and if you keep taking that mistake away, like forward, let's think tomorrow, okay, so you might come at a point where you cannot go back, okay, and you cannot explain that to the stakeholders. So better you talk with the stakeholders as early as possible if something goes wrong here, okay. That is how you adjust the plan. Next is last step is reviewing. So basically review is very important, guys. After you achieve your first goal, you can review what was good, okay. That is, consider doing a post-project review. It's review, okay, not preview. And ask what was good, bad and better. Review original and final Gantt chart, okay. So basically you can see where we started and overall flow of what the things are, right? And then quality, cost and time review, like what you compromised on, what could have been better, like that, okay. So after reviewing, you can start another project or develop the existing project with the future scope, okay. So these are the 12 steps, guys, to do any project you might take. So if you follow these steps in your real life also to implement anything, you will definitely get good results, okay. So plan things out, starting the project is at the 8th step, right? So it involves like many steps. So right from defining project, listing the task, establishing task order, time, Gantt chart. So Gantt chart is very important. Resource allocation, predicting and reducing risk, okay. Monitoring progress, monitoring cost, adjusting plan, review and lesson, okay. So this is a simple explanation of project management, like how you can handle your project, okay. So hope you learned and understood something from this video, and if you do hit the subscribe button. Until then, take care, bye.